Hi, K2E teachers. This is Katie, obviously. And I wanted to share with you guys what the Scenes weekly template will look like. As I shared last week, we're going to transition to a weekly template. I think it'll be a little bit more streamlined for you all rather than making 5 different documents over the course of the week. Additionally, for your teammates who are operating as host teachers or learning facilitators during your lesson that you plan, it'll be a little bit similar or simpler for them to use, just like, they can print out this document and have it ready for the full week. So you'll see that lead forward is copied here. I'm going to talk a little bit about that first. So as you can see, you would put the TEKS for the full week, and then we're asking that you highlight if it's a readiness standard. So there are 2 types of standards. There are readiness standards and supporting standards. The supporting standards do exactly what it sounds like they would do. They help children build up to the readiness standards. So they definitely are very important, but these readiness standards are the ones that are assessed and are the ones that are most critical for children to master as they head to the next grade level. So first I'm going to show you how you can find those readiness standards. So once you click on the resource tab, so you would just click this link and it would take you to the resource tab. Let's say I'm Deja and I'm planning for kindergarten math. So as you can see on the lead forward page, make sure you're on the content builder resources, and you can see each grade level listed along with each subject or set of standards. So if I'm Deja, I'm going to go to the kindergarten math, which will open up another tab. As you can see here, it has all of your standards listed. The readiness standards are on the left, and those will be in green, while the supporting standards are in yellow. So for example, if we look at K2B, that is a readiness standard. That means it's one of the most critical that allows KIPsters to be ready to move on to the next grade level, in this case, first grade. So K2B is to read, write, and represent whole numbers from zero at least to 20 with and without objects or pictures. A lot of these supporting standards are what children would have to do in order to get back up to this place. And oftentimes you may be able to use the readiness standards. If you're deconstructing a readiness standard, you might be able to use the supporting standards to help you through that deconstruction. So all of the readiness standards are listed here. So once you put in your standards for the week, you would go through and highlight the readiness standards, or those ones that are on green on the left. I'll show you one more. So let's go to 4th grade reading and writing. So Josh, Darylina, and Patrice would access this one. And you can see again that those readiness standards or the application standards are listed there that as the most critical ones for kids to master. So they're called readiness standards or application, and then the either supporting standards or tools to know that help build up to that application standard. So once you've gone through and put in your TEKS and highlighted the readiness standards, the next thing you would do is just put in the lesson numbers. So, you might just put in like Module 1, Lesson 7, or whatever one it was. Then for each day of the week, you would include the student-friendly objective. In most cases, you would be able to do ELPs for the entire week, and that is fine. And for the most case, your accommodations will be fine across the entire week. If you do find that accommodations on Thursday might have to be different, you would just indicate day 4 specific accommodations and put those in. Once you go through kind of the week at a glance, the next thing you would do is deconstruct the standard for any readiness standards or application standards. So again, you would go back to lead forward and select the content that you're planning for. So if you're doing 2nd grade science, you would find those readiness standards and you would deconstruct only the readiness standards. In most cases, you would only have to use the readiness standard. You'll only have one readiness standard per week in most cases. Depending on kind of how the module is laid out, you might have 2, but in most cases, you would just have one readiness standard per week. So you and your teammates will already have looked at the highlighted standards and then really deconstruct that standard, both in what the students need to know and be able to do. And then how is that readiness standard assessed for this week? So taking a look at the exit ticket, etc. From there, you would put in your tier 2 and tier 3 vocabulary words. You do not need to include the picture. I know lots of folks are going to be using the Eureka and Wheatley materials that were provided, so you don't have to provide a separate picture on this document, but please make sure it's in your lesson materials. So you would put the vocabulary for each day. We know sometimes the vocabulary for day 1 and the vocabulary for days 2 and 3 will be the same. That's fine. Please make sure that you've got vocabulary entered for each day. And if you're having a hard time finding, like, I'm not sure what vocabulary kids would need, another tool on here, if you go over to the column where it says academic vocabulary, if you're looking for reading or writing, there's a content builder that you can look at the standard and then take a look at what are some potential tier 2 or tier 3 vocabulary words that the KIPSers would need to master. So if you're like, well, I don't really know which vocabulary words they would need, you can find those there. From there, you would just enter, so once you finish your vocabulary, you would do your exit ticket criteria for success. So your exit ticket for day 1, exit ticket for day 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, we know that some of those will be repeats, just the way our curriculum is structured in a very spiral manner. But please make sure that you have an exit ticket criteria for success for each piece of those. Again, a criteria for success should be between 3 and 5 conceptual or cognitive steps that a child needs to take in order to master the exit ticket. So that would be everything for the week at a glance. From there, you would continue on to just like a snapshot of each day. So here you can see it says day 1, insert link for lesson material, and then insert link to the exemplar. So all you would need to do is highlight this, insert a link, and then put a link to your PowerPoint or lesson materials, link that there, and you can just put PowerPoint here so that all of your teammates, no idea what link this is, but we'll just do that. And so then all of your teammates would very easily be able to access both the PowerPoint and the exemplar. So again, your exemplar doesn't need to be moved into this space, but when you upload your annotations, you would also insert your exemplar here. So from there, you would put your minutes, what kids were doing, and any teacher notes. So for example, you might say like, we're going to do 3-minute do now, and then include a note for your teammate that says, review of key concept from yesterday. Look for accurate annotations. So this is where you would put anything that would be in the back of your mind as an instructor that you want to make sure your teammates have access to. So again, you would just list the minutes, what are you doing, and then anything that the teachers who are facilitating that would need to know. The last thing that you'll do is you're going to put, you are going to put any like key moments for guided practice and any student misconceptions, and the same for independent practice. So this is where you would put those pause points. So if you think about, as an instructor who's really deeply internalized this material, you would just use the key moments for guided practice to name specifically, like, what are the things that we're going to be asking kids, and then what are we looking for so that they're all set up for success. So your key moments for both guided practice and independent practice will happen here, and then any potential student misconceptions and solutions for both guided practice and independent practice. So you would do that for day 1, continue on and do the same thing for days 2 through 5. Of course, if we think about next week, for example, we only have GVLC on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you would not fill out the templates for days 4 and 5. That's fine. We only have 3 days in the week, so you only need 3 templates. So this is how that SEAMS document should be completed. Again, these are due at the end of day on Friday for all GVLC courses, including science, phonics, reading, writing, and of course, math. The last thing that I just wanted to highlight for you guys, in case you have forgotten, here's Mr. Ellis's. If you want to go to those resources, you would go to Shared Drive. You'd go to the KTE 2021 Staff Drive. Then you would find the folder that is called, well, it might have disappeared on us. Here it is, TPT Curriculum. You would open up this, open up your content. So if I'm Miss Ledlam, I'm going to open up Eureka second grade. And then right here, I would be able to open up Module 3, is which Kipsters will be starting. Ms. Ledlam would open up this PowerPoint, make any additions that needed to happen for this PowerPoint so that it was finalized before Kipsters saw it. And then again, she would just copy and paste this direct link into the Seams template where it says insert lesson materials here, so that all of our teammates have easy access to find those things. In case your Wi-Fi shuts down or something else happens, the show can keep going on. So remember that those resources are available in the staff drive. You would go to TPT curriculum and then choose your appropriate grade level and content. So hopefully this is a relief of having to do 5 different ones a day while also still meeting our commitment to kids. We know our first job is to keep them safe, and our second job is to provide an excellent education. So working to find the balance here of really strong teacher internalization and making it feasible for all of us to be able to access this. So anyone who steps in to lead the classroom for a day has kind of a one-stop shop of everything they would need. Please reach out to me with any questions, and enjoy your work time on Thursday and Friday to make sure that these internalizations are ready to go so coaches can take a look at them over the weekend and early next week.